People in Cuba continuing to struggle with a lack of fuel and therefore nationwide blackouts, being squeezed by an American energy blockade. Electricity, though, is gradually returning to some parts of the country, and the White House says it is in talks with the Cuban government.
Cuba right now is in very bad shape. They're talking to Marco, and we'll be doing something with Cuba very soon.
The bottom line is their economy doesn't work. It's a non-functional economy. It's an economy that has survived. That revolution, it's not even a revolution, that thing they have has survived on subsidies from the Soviet Union and now from Venezuela. They don't get subsidies anymore, so they're in a lot of trouble. And the people in charge, they don't know how to fix it. So they have to get new people in charge.
No details have emerged as to who the Trump administration would prefer run the country. Reached out to Sebastian Arcos, who's the interim director of the Cuban Research Institute. Sebastian, good morning to you.
Good morning, sir. Thank you for having me.
I wonder if I could just start with a very blunt question. Can the Cuban government survive with this kind of pressure?
Doesn't look like they can. This looks like the end of a road for them. Before they got two chances, the Soviet Union and then Venezuela. Now there is no other country available to step in and save them from their own folly. This is it. It looks like it.
And so if they're done, what replaces them?
A transitional government that will lead the country to free elections in a period of 2 to 3 years, something very similar to what happened in the former communist countries in Central Europe in 1990.
Now, that is, some might argue, an optimistic assessment. How certain can we be that there won't be many bumps in the road along the way?
Well, there will be many bumps on the road. It's not going to be an easy transition. But what we have, the current strategic situation around Cuba is that they only have one door out. And that door is to engineer or participate in a transition to democracy. The United States is pushing for a transition to democracy. So that's the door available for them right now. It will be complicated, but it's the only way out.
If the Trump administration is driving this pressure, particularly Secretary of State Marco Rubio, how would democracy guarantee that they would end up with something that is friendlier to the American administration? Because democracy could lead to any result, including someone who doesn't like the Americans.
Yeah, well, that probably will not happen in Cuba. Right now, the Cuban people is very hopeful, waiting for the United States to help them get rid of this regime. And therefore, any democratic government that follows will probably be very, very grateful to the United States and also very much willing to re-engage Cuba's economy with the United States and the very wealthy and prosperous Cuban-American community that now resides in the United States. The relationship is inevitable, and it's going to be a good one.
This is an economy that has withstood, or at least endured, American sanctions for the better part of 6 decades. What is left of the country to build from?
The country is there. The people is there. The infrastructure can be rebuilt. It has been done elsewhere. And with a significant injection of Cuban-American capital in the first place, followed by foreign investment, including the United States, which is not allowed to happen right now, but it will be allowed to happen once Cuba is on track to become a democracy. It can be rebuilt. The damage to the population, 3 generations of people that were born and raised under a totalitarian society, is going to take longer, but it can be fixed. The Poles did it, the Czechs did it, the Hungarians did it, the Cubans will do it.
I do want to ask you about the role of the Russians, because yes, Venezuela may not be involved or supporting Cuba financially in the way that it once did, but Russia does have deeper pockets, and deeper now because of where oil prices are at. What's to say they don't want to continue having an irritant just off of the Florida coast?
They will not come to the rescue of the regime. They have already signaled that they want. They have a war that has been very complicated for them. They have their own troubles, both economic and political troubles. Cuba is too far away from Russia. The relationship is not the same that existed with the Soviet Union. It's no longer ideological. It's now a matter of convenience. And the Russians have a very old-fashioned look on international relations. They believe that Cuba falls under the sphere of influence of the United States, as well as they believe that Ukraine falls under the spheres of influence for Russia. So they will not interfere in Cuba.
Sebastian Arcos, very much appreciate your time today.